Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode on Mind Your Soul with me, Farah, as your host. And today we have a really exciting guest for you guys. She's called Nina Simone, and she's one of the founders of She Sapiens. So I've decided to call this episode about empowering female founders because this is what Simone actually does. So welcome,
Woo.
Simone, to the podcast. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation. It's a
Of
pleasure to see
course.
you again.
You too. And we actually met in Lisbon, like I think 2 months ago. And we just instantly
Exactly.
connected, right? It was like the connection was like just there from the beginning.
Yes,
And I love everything that you're doing. So I
thank
thought, why
you.
not bring you on the podcast? And our listeners could definitely benefit from this.
Yeah, and I think it should have been the other way around because I really love listening to all your life stories.
We can
So
do
I
an
was like,
opposite maybe one day.
I need a podcast.
Yes, you can come on mine and then you can interview me. That would be a new one.
Exactly.
So the possibilities are endless. So Nina, tell me more about She Sapiens because I found it very interesting. So She Sapien is about empowering female founders. So tell me about the whole purpose of She Sapiens and how it kind of supports the whole mental well-being of female entrepreneurs because this podcast is about mental well-being. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, it has been an interesting journey. She Sapiens is turning already 1 year old
Oh
next
wow,
week.
congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And it has been an interesting journey because very connected to my own personal development as an entrepreneur. I already had one business called Purpose Agency, with which I built communities. And then one day I thought it's very sad that we don't have any women circles out there, like group of women that lift each other up, that support each other, that share their challenges when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I was often very much suffering during my youth because of women, because of jealousy, envy, and so on. And this just got worse when you
Mm-hmm.
enter business and professional life. And one day I decided, okay, we have to change that. We have to collaborate instead of compete. And how can I create this safe environment that women actually can be themselves and that they can show up as who they really are,
Mm-hmm.
without having any judgments, right? So I created something that was called the Female Founders Breakfast, and we
Oh,
started to, yeah. So it was a breakfast because I think everybody loves breakfast, right?
who doesn't love to eat,
This,
right?
and this brunch culture, it's just very relaxing and feels
Mm.
homey. Um, so I set up this breakfast, and after some time, I gained some followers, and I found an amazing team. I found Julia from Spain, who also had already established a female empowerment community. So we
Oh,
merged.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we merged the two projects and we called it She Sapiens.
Mm-hmm.
We're an inclusive community. We're not only women. We also do events like workshops and other bigger events that include
Mm-hmm.
women, men.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so we're an inclusive community, but we take care of the holistic well-being of women. And
I
as you
love
said,
that.
mental health is crucial, right, in
Very
entrepreneurship.
much, very much, because it's a hard journey, right? I'm on it myself right now, and you're very alone in your journey, like, because like when you start your business, you're alone because I can't afford people yet. But I'm just saying you need people to be in the similar circles and
Mm,
networking because they're probably going through the similar challenges as you are. So I think it's
yes.
very important to have these communities. And actually, we don't have that in Copenhagen, where I'm located.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
sad.
have a community like that, actually. And I would love to be part of that. But I feel like
Yes.
the communities are very like, mostly only men. Like, I don't see
Mm,
many women in the communities. Like you just said, how you started the journey. This is what I've experienced myself, the envy, the
mm,
jealousy, the backstabbing, and I was like, where's the support and love for each other, right? Where is it?
Yeah,
Because I haven't
definitely.
felt it. I haven't felt it or experienced it yet.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, definitely. And life is like a mirror. So when you give it to someone else, it will most likely fall back to you. So
I
that's
agree
the
100%.
beautiful thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Um, and what you were saying, I mean, it's in general about diversity, right? It's about diversity. There's too less diversity out there. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, you have these two trends. You have the trend of self-enhancement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, how can I optimize myself to be better,
Mm-hmm.
to be faster, to be smarter, to,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have more like, let's say, the spiritual path
Mm-hmm.
where you reflect on your inner childhood traumas, you work with your mental health and so on. And I think both ways are legit, but unfortunately, that's what I felt is you have to choose one of these paths. And I didn't want to choose one of these paths. I wanted to offer something to the community that is a holistic approach and that gives them
Mm-hmm.
whatever they need in this moment. So we work with these transformative moments
Mm-hmm.
in women's lives. So
Okay, wow.
let's say you just become an entrepreneur and you transition from like a corporate mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset,
Mm-hmm.
or you transition from being only a businesswoman to being a businesswoman and a mother,
Mm.
like this
Yeah,
transformative
there are
moment.
many transitions in
Yes,
life. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. And at these moments, it's very important to find the right combination of self enhancement and spiritual guidance. Because if you don't find the right balance of these two things, then you have a burnout or, depression. And, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, I think you answered some of it. Like, what are the challenges that female founders often face while
Mm.
being, like, while trying to build their businesses? And how does She Sapiens address those challenges? So you kind of
Yeah.
answer some of it, like you help with the transitioning phase of it. But how do
Yes.
you do that? Like,
Yeah.
how does it
Okay.
practical, like, how does it happen?
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, first contact is usually like one of our breakfast events where
Mm-hmm.
women come together in this safe space. We sit
Okay.
at one round table, we share our challenges, we uplift each other. Sometimes we dance, sometimes we meditate.
Oh, I
It's,
love that.
it depends on the moment. And it's very
Mm.
beautiful because it's not that I'm guiding the whole group and saying, oh, we're going to do this and that. It's like, no, we really feel like in
Mm.
this moment, like how is everybody feeling, what is
Mm.
needed, and then women individually bring things up, and that's the dynamic, and it's so beautiful. And afterwards, everybody already feels like so relieved after this introduction round that is not silly, it's not competitive, it's like very
Mm.
genuine and vulnerable. And
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, everybody is really ready to connect, and like ready to connect for to establish like meaningful relationships. And we take them this spirit and we bring it to the next level. And the next level is that we bring women together in workshops to learn
Mm.
about entrepreneurship. We bring them together in our co-working space so that
Mm.
they can really collaborate on projects and help each
Mm.
other out. um, yeah, or they just meet outside, that's also legit. They meet in the city for coffee or wine, they go party, they go to the beach, they make play dates in the garden, with their
Mm.
kids or their dogs, and it's beautiful.
Wow, it sounds beautiful. I would love to be part of it, but I live too far away. So I can only be virtually there.
You are already part of it.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
We
that.
actually we actually met two of your female friends in Lisbon. They're already part of She Sapiens, so I
That's
consider
true.
you also as a part.
Yes, I would love to know more, but we can always talk about that after we end this episode, because
Yes,
this is so me, like the whole holistic and spiritual path. Because this is
yes,
when we
I know.
drop the mask, when we're vulnerable, that's how we evolve, right? And you're
Yes,
evolving with similar people in the community, so you grow only not like spiritually, but you
mm,
also grow like in corporate ways, right? Like with your
yes,
business, it's like a different approach to things, and I find that really
yes,
beautiful. and unique, and this is also why you're on the podcast, because
Yeah,
we
thank
don't
you.
have many people like you. Like
Thank you.
we need more people like you out there, because maybe they're out there but we just don't hear about them, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like society is very focused on like, oh, what is the biggest trend right now? How can we get a piece of the cake? And we
Exactly.
forget, and we forget our genuine purpose. We forget why did we start all this,
Yeah.
and then it becomes something very shallow, and you just
Mm.
rush and rush. And what you were saying with like taking down this mask is, I think, super important, and it's super important for our mental health, because if you always constantly have to pretend to be someone else,
Mm.
how healthy can this be?
Not
you
healthy.
know
Yeah.
it's it is not healthy, and as women especially, we're different than men, right? And we don't have to pretend all the way to be like strong and like, like this, having this masculine energy of being
Mm.
aggressive and business
I
and
agree.
and
I agree.
one more sell and one more contact. It's like, no, let's focus on us, what is our essence, our
Hmm.
real essence, or how can we balance out our, let's say, feminine and masculine side, and how
I
can we
agree.
use this gift that we got by nature to use and to help this world and to make this world a better place,
That
right?
was beautiful. That was just, yeah, I agree. Because when we work as females, like we are much more in touch with our masculine energy, but we are still women.
Often, yeah.
Often, yeah, but we're still women, and we need to be in touch
Yeah.
with both female and masculine energy, both often like a balance. And many of us are mothers as well. Like we have a lot going on. I'm not saying men can't be fathers and still be, you know what I mean. I'm just saying
Yes.
that we have many roles, and we have lots going on, and to navigate in all of this, I can personally say it sometimes feel like really overwhelming to me. Like I need
Mm,
to do this, I need to do that, I need to
mm,
practice self-love, I need to have time for myself, and like what makes me happy on a day-to-day basis. I have these
yeah.
goals, and when I don't meet them, I get disappointed in myself. And you know, we have
Mm,
so much going on, so I feel like having a community like that where you can go and like tell your frustrations, that's really powerful.
yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
because it reminds you of prioritizing your own needs.
exactly.
Women tend to care, to give, and that's beautiful, but often we forgot our own individual needs.
Yeah.
And a community provides us with this support system of reminding you, prioritize that maybe once a month you go to a massage, or once a
Mm.
month you go to manicure, or once a month you make a girls' night and you just have fun and you talk like, funny stuff,
Mm.
to escape from the serious adult life, and these kind of things. And for this, a community is very valuable.
I think that's awesome that you have that option. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's hard doing it yourself, right? Saying like once a month I will do this or something. Like, be accountable for yourself, because you
yeah,
need to do it with a group that there's like similar minded, right? Um,
yeah. And
yeah.
also, often in life you reach this kind of plateaus where you feel like you cannot develop anymore, or you cannot go deeper
Mm.
anymore, like reflecting on your dramas or working on yourself. And a community is kind of the trigger that
Mm-hmm.
puts you again out of your own comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
and motivates you to go the next step.
I think that's very
And
important, because as people, like we are always like our brains, our amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, just keeps us like in the safe spot. It wants us to be in the comfort zone
definitely,
24/7, and you don't grow as a person if you're in the comfort zone. You need to go out
definitely.
of the comfort zone. You need to fear risk. You need to feel
Hmm.
a bit afraid. It has to feel like a different feeling in your body, and that's normal. And when you do
Yes.
that, then you're actually on your healing journey or your evolving journey. That's how you
Yeah.
grow as a person.
Yes.
And
But
many
here the
people tend to
important part.
say, yeah,
Yeah, but I think here's the important part, because we want to do this with like-minded people that share
mm,
our values.
Of
right?
course.
It's not about like, oh yeah, tomorrow quit your job and like, you know,
Yeah, I get it.
just do that. And then you have like two kids at home and you don't know how to, you know,
To feed them.
to
Yeah,
feed
yeah, yeah,
them.
yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's not about this. It's more about you can make risks and you can step out of your comfort zone, but please with this support system of like-minded people, and in our
Mm.
case, women. Mm.
Yeah. So do you also help like the beginners, like the entrepreneurs, like in the beginning? I can see you saying you're helping them with the whole mental health, but do you also help them like practically, like you need to do these steps, you need to take these steps in order to live off uh, your dream? Like, do you help with that as
Mhm.
well?
Yeah, so I have to say we are very much like targeting women that are already mature in that sense that they already have established businesses.
Oh, okay.
Just because we cannot serve them all, but
Mm.
sometimes we have people that come to us and they say like, oh, I feel so inspired by all of you, but I don't have a real business yet. And then we don't exclude, we help, we give advice.
Okay.
And we have a platform online that when you're a community member, you get a profile, and you can state what you are looking for and what you
Mm.
offer in return. Because the
Okay.
idea is to create a kind of marketplace that exchanges services, but not in a
Mm-hmm.
monetary way, more
Mm.
like in a genuine exchanging services way. Um, and of course, you can always participate on our workshops. Our workshops are about different things. Like recently, we had a workshop about disciplined entrepreneurship, where you really go through the different stages, how
Okay.
to build a startup.
Mm.
Um, Often we have also people that talk about specific areas of a business, for example, marketing. Recently, we had Eloise who was talking about Google Ads, right?
Yes, I
And
know. Yes.
we
So
talk
very
about this
different
topic.
workshops actually. You have like different varieties of
Yeah,
business workshops. Like, yeah.
yes, it's like a market. It's like a market, and you take what you need and you leave the rest.
I love
Because
that.
because
Yes.
I don't really believe in creating something and saying like, oh, we are the next incubator for women, and this is our
Mm.
method, and this is how you have to do it. It's like,
Mm.
no, it's
No.
like you have to get to know what is right for you. This
Mm.
is the whole point, and this is what we want to offer. So we also let our community decide what knowledge we share, because I'm not the one in front of the community teaching. It's our
Mm.
members that then come up with the topics and say like, I want to do a workshop about X, or can we not
Okay.
do something like, you know and then our members come up with the ideas and they get supported by the others, and
Oh,
then
that's
they learn.
lovely. So is these workshops, they are like physically, is it like possible to have online like workshops as well? Is this something you've been considering?
Yeah.
Asking from one
Yeah,
in
so
Copenhagen. So,
yeah, that's true. So in the beginning, we were really, really focused on creating like physical experiences, because
mm, that is
I
also
feel
much
that,
more powerful, I believe. Like the physical presence, you feel each other's energy.
yeah, yeah, I mean, it's just different, right? But
Mm,
everybody was craving this kind of touch that we all lost during COVID times. So
mm,
it was very important to create this. But as
mm.
soon as, let's say, the vibe and of the community like is aligned, I think we can move to the next stage, which is that we offer local workshops in our local locations, which are Lisbon, Amsterdam, and Stockholm. And then in
Okay.
the future, we will have also international workshops where you can join from everywhere. And yeah, I think we will test it soon, like September or October, and I let you know.
Yeah, I think you should have one in Copenhagen. So,
I hope so.
yeah, but it's good locations though that you already have, like big locations, Stockholm, Amsterdam, Lisbon. It's like big cities. I love Stockholm personally. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and I
yeah. It's
love
not very,
Lisbon too.
yeah. It's not very much about being in a big city.
Okay.
it's because Lisbon feels like very much of a dynamic city
Mm.
where a lot of change there come together, and they have disruptive ideas, and they want to create or they want to recreate themselves. Sorry, I'm losing my
Mm.
headphones here all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. Like the sound was going off. Yeah.
I need what you have.
You need this. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not about being in a big city, it's more about being in a pot of opportunities.
Mm. That makes sense. So, one last question for our listeners. Imposter syndrome is something many entrepreneurs struggle with. Could you share your
Yes.
insights on how you provide advice to female founders on building
Mm,
confidence and maintaining a positive, like, mental health throughout their journey? You mentioned a lots of things during our talk today. Let's just like to end
mm,
the podcast with this question. I think would be very valuable.
yeah. Um, so imposter syndrome is indeed something that we, as the founding team, also deal with, like
Mm-hmm.
individually to certain
Mm.
degrees. Um, I would say leading by example,
Uh-huh.
number one, um, in our case, because we know that we have these type of struggles as well, that we are afraid to show up, we are afraid to
Mm.
sell, we are afraid to claim our value as a community.
Mm-hmm.
So leading by example. And then the other thing is uh, you have this support system of women that celebrate you. And these moments of celebration in the community give you a kind of confidence boost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women remind each other about why they are great. And I think it starts with like small moments that we have right now. Like you invited me to your podcast, so I feel very honored that you want to listen
Oh,
to my opinion.
of
You
course.
see, and
Yeah.
this is like uplifting. You know, it doesn't
Mm.
matter how many followers you have,
No, not at
um,
all.
or or what you do afterwards with the video. Just that you take your time is like, you know, is
Yeah.
very sweet of you. And I think that women should look for these small moments where they can get some kind of like confirmation, or where they can support each other. And I would say that if you have imposter syndrome, but you don't get all this confirmation all the time, then it's like, as I said before, give this confirmation first to others, because
Mm-hmm.
life is a mirror and it will come back
Yes.
to you.
Absolutely. You attract what you give out. Like you're love and you're gonna attract love. You're abundant. Like your energy attracts similar minded people. I really
Yes.
believe in all of this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, and let's talk just 1 second about our brain, because I know that you are into neuroscience, and I
Yes.
think that's a very, very good advice I've heard recently is when you set yourself like smart goals for a week, and you manifest, right? And you say
Mm-hmm.
like, I want na 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 na.
Mm.
So the important thing is that you only always manifest what you want, and not what you don't want, because our brain cannot differentiate between a no and yes,
I
right?
talk
So
about
if I
this a
say
lot.
like,
Yes. Very
yeah,
true.
so
Mm.
if I say like, um, I don't want you know, too stuck in traffic or being forced to go by car like 4 days a week. The brain in this moment does not hear this not, it only hears like car, 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 and probably
Yes.
you end up in the car
Yes.
more
Very
often than
true.
before. So I hope it was maybe not the best example, but
No, but I
you
get
can
it. What
explain it
you
better.
tell your brain, yeah, what I usually say is that what you tell your brain, it believes, but it takes time.
Okay.
So if you self-sabotage, like if you do negative self-talk, it will keep you in that hole. Like you will not get out of
Also,
it.
yeah,
It will take time. Like you need to
yes,
manifest this and believe it like every day. You can't trick it. You need to believe it. You need to speak with compassion to yourself as you speak to your best friend. I do mirror work
yes.
every day, every single day. I talk with compassion to myself in the mirror. I'm like, you got this. I believe in you. You're awesome. I say many things. Like I say lots of things.
I would
And
love to see
yes, yeah, I don't film myself, but like
it. Not
I
yet.
believe that I'm here to serve a purpose. Like
Yes.
Like this podcast is part of my purpose. I need powerful people, in the sense, not rich and famous, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Powerful
yeah.
in the mental health being sense, like you are. This is
Thank
my purpose, my passion. And on my page I only talk about this empowerment, because you can get out of that black hole of yours if you actually start speaking with compassion to yourself.
Yes.
And for those who
Very
does
true.
not believe it, try it out. It will not happen
Mm-hmm.
overnight. It will take time. Good
Mm-hmm.
things take time. It probably take from 20 to 60 days. This is the habit formation. It takes time for your brain to believe the new changes. So, like, all the
Mm.
cliche does work. Like meditation works, mindfulness work, being in communities do wonders for you. Like all of these
Mm-hmm.
things, I'm a fan of them.
Yeah. It just reminds me of a story because when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I was starting working with co-working spaces, and I remember that 4 years ago, I did my first phone call, and I
Okay.
called like a random co-working space in Germany, and I said like, yeah, I'm a co-working consultant and na. And like I was in the very beginning. I had built like literally zero, but I
Mm.
was just making this call and like pretending because I really felt that this is the right path for me and I want to do
Hmm.
this. And I kind of manifested. And now like looking back at this situation is super funny for me, but at the same time, this is the only way how you can achieve these kind of things. You have to believe in yourself and you have to
Exactly.
like enact on it and share it with the world. And I think this is super important. Share it with the world, even though it doesn't feel 100% aligned yet with what you have and what you have built, but you will get there.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere, right? So you start from zero and then you just build yourself up. So this is where I'm at. I'm starting from scratch at the age of 39. I've just decided to do this. Like
That's
it's
a good
never
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like never too late to follow your dreams, because tomorrow is not promised. So you can
Yes,
say when you die, like, I did this because I felt
yes,
aligned with my purpose and I live my true self. So you can like die in peace. You know what I mean?
yes.
You can
Well
live and
done.
die with peace. So
Well
I
done.
really believe in that, in manifesting it. But still, you need support in the journey, because the journey is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, right? So I feel like
Hmm.
what you're doing with your community is really beautiful. And I needed to have you on the podcast because many people do not know about these communities. So I
Yeah.
hope you'll get more members when they listen, because I would like to be a member myself. Even though I can participate physically, I think there will still be some online benefits for me.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. There are also online benefits, but I say like my goal is not like to have like thousands of members, right?
Mm,
The goal is to let women experience what
yeah.
we offer, to decide them by themselves, like, is this what I need or is this what I don't need?
Mm,
And then our community is in that sense built exclusively because women choose each other, right? You
mm,
understand after some time, like, is this where I belong? Is this where I fit or not?
mm-hmm,
So we are not like desperate, wanting to grow, because we
mm.
also need to take care to hold the container,
I
right?
love
And to
that.
provide the same experience every month to all women in all locations. That's priority number one.
That's beautiful. The whole talk has been beautiful, Simone, Nina Simone. I really loved it. And I hope our listeners will love it too. They can follow us both. You can see our names, and it will be streamed to Spotify and Apple Podcast. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know time is
Thank
precious.
you.
I really appreciate it, and it was lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much. I hope we
Thank
see
you.
each other again in person.
I hope so too. Bye.
Bye bye. Ciao.